Hi everyone, welcome to Programming for Kids using Python, session number 3, the summary of our last session. So far we discussed about what is the basic concept of Python, types of Python, variables, operator. Then we discussed the interactive programming with the help of input and print function. Then we discussed the turtle module. And today we are going to cover two topics. First one, the eval function. Second one, decision making and branching by using if else and elif statement. So the eval function evaluates or figure out the values of the input that we typed. The eval function evaluates or figure out the values of the input that we typed. We can see an example. So we can see one application that is a math problem solving using eval function. Okay, so here you can see one program. You can see one program. The name of the program is homework. Okay, so there are two lines in the program. This is the first line, this is the second line. In first line we are taking the input from the user. Okay, we are telling user enter your math problem. So user can enter any mathematical expression. Okay, that expression will be assigned to problem. Then we are calling print function with the message the answer. Then within the print function we are calling the built-in function called eval with the parameter problem. So this problem is nothing but the problem that is typed by the user, which is nothing but a mathematical expression. Okay, so the eval function evaluate this mathematical expression and give the result. So if you execute this program, first you will get a message enter a math problem. So you can enter any mathematical expression, simple or complex. Okay, so here I have given 8 plus 9 minus 2 into 2 plus 8. As we know, uh, mathematical expression first priority goes to the parenthesis. It use Bodmas rule. Okay, so 8 plus 9, how much? 17. 17 minus 2, 15. So first it will evaluate this bracket, then it will evaluate this bracket, that is 2 plus 8 is equal to 10. Then it will multiply 15 with 10. So we will get the answer 150. Okay, so let me execute this particular program by using our Python idle. Let me copy this program, new file. I will type this particular. So program is copied. Let me execute this particular program by using idle. Okay, so I need to save the program. So I'm writing math.py. Yeah, replace it. Fine. So program is executed. I got the message. Enter your math problem. So I'm writing 4 plus 8. Sorry, 6 plus 8. And press enter. You will get the result. The answer is 14. Okay, so that's our maths homework. Now you can solve all your maths homework by using this particular Python application. Yeah, now let's come back to our slide. Let's continue. Next one is pizza calculator. Okay, so here whatever we learned in the last class, we are using those concepts, or we are writing our own program for pizza calculator. Okay, so let's imagine you own a pizzeria. Let's write a small program to figure out the total cost of a simple pizza order, including the sale tax. Say we are ordering one or more pizza that all cost the same, and we are ordering in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. The sale tax that's not included in the menu price but is added at the end of the purchase. The rate is 8%, meaning that for every dollar we pay for pizza, we must also pay 8% in sale tax. We could model this program in words as follows. First, we need to ask the person how many pizza they want. This is the step number one. We need to ask the person how many pizza they want. Second, ask for the menu cost of each pizza. What is the cost of each pizza? Step number three, calculate the total cost of the pizzas as our subtotal. Okay, then calculate the sale tax of at 8% of the subtotal. We can calculate the sale tax. And then add the sale tax to the subtotal for the final total. So we have to add sale tax with the subtotal. So we'll get the final total and show the user's total amount due including tax. Okay, so these are the 6 simple steps. First, we need to ask how many pizza they want, then what is the cost of each pizza, and the third one, calculate the total cost of the pizza by multiplying step number 1 and step number 2. Then we can calculate the sale tax, which is nothing but 8% of the subtotal. So you can multiply total subtotal with into 0.08, that is nothing but 8%. Then add sale tax to the subtotal. Sale tax plus subtotal is equal to the total. Okay, then we can display the message. You can see this program. First, we are taking number of pizzas. We are asking from the user, enter how many pizzas you want. How many pizzas you want. That is nothing but string, and that string will be converted by using eval function. So already we learned the eval function. Okay, then the value is assigned to the number of pizza. Similarly, cost per pizza, we are using the eval function with the input function. So we'll take the input from the user. How much does the pizza cost? What is the cost of each pizza? That is converted into number, and that is assigned to cost per pizza. Then subtotal. Okay, multiplying the number of pizza into cost per pizza. Then we are assigning the tax rate is 0.088%. Then calculating the sale tax subtotal into tax rate. Then we are calculating the total subtotal plus sale tax. Okay, then the last three statement, it will display the total cost, subtotal and sale tax. Clear? So let's execute this particular program. I copied here, pasted. Okay, let me execute this program. You can understand. Yeah, program is working. So first message, how many pizzas do you want? So I am writing, I need 15 pizza. Then how much does the cost of each pizza? Let it be $25. $25. Now we will get the message. The total cost is $405, and that include $375, $375 for pizza and 30 rupees for tax. Okay, so total we need to pay 405. In that 375 the cost of pizza and 30 rupees for the sale tax. Clear? Let's run once again. So if I want 100 pizza, okay, the cost of pizza is also $100. So we are getting the answer. You have to pay 10,800 for total pizza. In that 10,000 is for pizza and 800 is a sale tax. Okay. Now let's continue with our slide. Okay, control structure, decision making. Okay, so here we are discussing how to make decision by using Python program. Okay, so sometimes we have one option, we can skip that particular option, or we have to continue. Sometimes we have two option, in that we have to select one option, one choice. Okay, sometimes we may have many number of options. For example, if you are going to a particular shop, you need to purchase what I can say, shirt. Okay, so there are different colors of shirt: green color, red color, purple color, violet color, etc. But your parents, they told you have to purchase only one shirt. Okay, so there are, you have many options in that particular shop with a different color. So which color you want to pick? Okay, so you can pick one shirt, depends upon your interest. Okay, if you are selecting green color shirt, you cannot select the other shirt. If you are selecting red color shirt, then you cannot select other shirt. Similarly, we can have one more scenario. A student take exam in 5 different subjects. The average score of the students is calculated. If the average is more than 50%, students is declared pass, otherwise or else fail. So this is the scenario. We need to check whether the given students is pass or fail in the exam. Okay, so how to implement this scenario in programming? We can use if else statement. By using that, we can implement this particular scenario. Okay, so remember, we have if, else if, nested if, and elif selection control structure available in Python. Okay, so if there is only one option, then you can opt if statement. If there is exactly two options, then you can select if else statement. If there is more than two option, then you can go for elif statement. So it's very simple. Okay, so if, elif, and else if statements in Python are used for decision making or branching. So let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the if statement to make decision. Okay, so the syntax means it is a grammar, it's a method, it's a rule. We have to follow this rule while using if statement. Okay, so here you can see the syntax. First you can see if, which is a keyword, followed by condition. You can write any mathematical expression that return true or false, followed by colon. Okay, then you can write the body of if statement or block of if statement with the proper indentation. So we mentioned indented statement. Give some space and write. Okay, here you can write any number of statement. So this is the syntax. If is a keyword, condition, any condition that return either true or false, then indented statement. Okay, example, if age greater than 17, then print you are eligible for voting. So here if is a keyword, age greater than 17 is a condition. It will return either true or false. Then you can see colon, then with the proper indentation, we are writing the next statement, that is the message, you are eligible for voting. Okay, so if this condition true, then only it will enter to this particular statement. Okay, if age greater than 7 return false, then this statement will not be executed at all. Okay, so remember, if condition true, then it will execute the body of if statement. If condition fails, then it now skip the body of if statement. Okay, so if you want to you execute or skip a particular statement, then you can use if statement. Clear? So let's see an example. Program to check whether you are eligible for voting. So you are writing a simple program. Okay, you need one variable called age. You can ask the age of user, enter your age. It is converted in, it is a string which is converted to integer by using int function. Okay, now we can check the condition, we can write the condition, if age is greater than 17, then he is eligible for voting, otherwise he won't be eligible for voting. Okay, so how this program work? First it will if you execute this program, we will get this output, enter your age. So you can specify your age. Here I have given 18. Okay, then it will check whether 18 is, if 18 is greater than 17, yes, 18 is greater than 17. So this message will be displayed, you are eligible for voting. Then control goes to the next executable statement, that is print statement, your age is 18. See the difference. So this printf part of if statement, this printf outside the if statement. Okay, so it will execute the statement and it will terminate. So you are getting, you are eligible for voting, your age is 18. Okay, in the second example, if you enter your age as 13, then what will happen? It will check whether 13 is greater than 17. No, 13 is not greater than 17. So this statement will not be executed. It will skip this particular statement and it will execute the next statement, that is your age is 13. So you will get a message, your age is 13. So remember, if the age is greater than 17, you can see three lines in output. If age is less than 17, you can see there is only 2 lines. Okay, so we can write a program by using if statement. We can make decision. Now the second one, if else statement, it is used to make decision between two choice, two alternative, two option. Syntax, if condition colon, then you can write the executable statement with the proper indentation. Else colon, see this is compulsory. Else colon, the meaning of else is nothing but otherwise. Okay, so in programming we are using the term else. Then we are writing the second option. So this is first option, this is second option. Remember, so if condition true, then it will go for first option. If condition false, fails, then it will go for what I can say, second option. Remember, if condition true, then only it will execute first option. If the condition not true, then it will go for the second option. Okay, so at a time it will execute either this one or this one. Example, you can see here, if age greater than 17, print you are eligible for voting. Else, print you are not eligible for voting. Clear? So if the condition true, it will execute you are eligible for voting. Otherwise, it will execute you are not eligible for voting. Okay, so you can see one example here. Same program, you are eligible for voting. Okay, with the else statement. So we took we know this one. Then we compared, if age greater than 17, print you are eligible for voting. Else, print you are not eligible for voting. Okay, so last statement, which is out of the if statement. Okay, this is common for both case. If you execute this program, you can see first output, enter your age 18. You are eligible for voting. Your age is 18. Correct? Second case, enter your age, you wrote 13. So you are getting, it will check whether 13 is greater than 17. No. So it will skip this particular statement and it will go for the next statement. So you are getting message, you are not eligible for voting. Your age is 13. Clear? So if you have two options, then you can use if else statement. Now the third one, elif statement. If you have more than two choice, then you can use elif statement. The syntax of elif statement, if condition 1, then intended statement 1. Else, condition elif condition 2, intended statement 2. Elif condition 3, intended statement 3. Elif condition 4, intended statement 4. And it continues. At the end, you can see else colon, then if it will execute the intended statements, other intended statement. Okay, so if condition 1 is true, then it will execute intended statement 1 and it will skip all the remaining statement in that particular elif statement. Similarly, if the condition 1 is false, 2 fails and 3 is true, then it will execute only the intended statement 3 and it will skip all the other statement. Okay, if all the condition fails, then it will execute the else part, the other intended statement. Clear? So we can write an example, grading with the elif statement. Okay, so how to predict the grade of a student by using mark. Okay, so we know we can easily collect the mark from the user by using input statement. We can ask enter mark. Okay, so that mark is assigned to the mark variable. Then by using mark, we can write a condition. If mark greater than or equal to 90, then print grade is A. Elif mark greater than or equal to 70, print grade is equal to B. Elif mark greater than or equal to 50, then print grade equal to C. Okay, so if all three condition fails, then it will print fail. So let's execute this particular program. Okay, the program is copied. Now let's paste it here in the idle. Pasted. Okay, run the module. You can see. So you have to enter the mark. Enter mark. I wrote 99. Okay, so I got the output. Grade is A. Grade is A. Okay. Second case. Let me run once again. I am executing with the 55 mark. Okay. So first it will check if I am writing 55, what will happen? It will check whether mark is greater than 55 is greater than or equal to 90. No. 55 is greater than or equal to 70. No. 55 is greater than or equal to 50. Yes. So grade is C. So let's see in our program what it will display. Yeah, grade is C. So our program working perfectly. Understood? So you try with a different output. Fine. Now next one, we can discuss some of the relational operator that is used in Python. So we have 6 relational operator: less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to. These are the 6 relational operator that is used in Python. Okay, so you can use this symbol to represent these relational operators. Okay, so less than, example 4 less than 2. Okay, so it will return false. Why? Because 4 is not less than 2, so false. Similarly, 4 greater than 2, it will return true because 4 is greater than 2. 4 less than or equal to 2, it will return false because 4 is not less than or equal to 2. Here 4 greater than or equal to 2, it will return true. Why? Because 4 is equal to 2. Similarly, for comparison, we are using double equal to. Okay, so we are using single equal to for assignment, assigning value to a variable, but we are using double equal to for comparison. So 4 equal to 2, that means it will check whether 4 is equal to 2. So 4 is not equal to 2, it will return false. Similarly, not equal to 5, not equal to 2, it will check whether 5 is not equal to 2. Yes, 5 is not equal to 2, so it will return true. Then we can have logical operator, and, or, not. So these are the 3 logical operator that is used in Python. It's also known as Boolean operator. So this is known here you have to write by using text only. Okay, it should be in small letter, A and D, O R without space, N O T without space, small letter. So and, or, not. So how to write and? You can write like this: if condition 1 and condition 2 colon, that means it will return true only if both condition 1 and condition 2 return true. Okay, so if all the condition true, then only and will return true. If any of the condition fails, then this entire expression will return false. Similarly, second one is or operator. If condition 1 or condition 2, that means it will check whether condition 1 is true or condition 2 is true. Okay, so if any of this condition return true, then the entire expression will return true. If all the condition return false, then the entire expression will return false. And the third one is not operator. If not condition, this is the format. Okay, if the condition return true, then it will convert it into false. If condition is false, then it will convert it into true. Okay, so it's known as inverse operator or not operator. Okay, so this is an example. You have to read this particular scenario, try to predict the output. Okay, so you can analyze this particular code and you can predict the output. I am not explaining this, you have to perform this task. Similarly, here also I will give one code snippet. Code snippet is given, then you have to select which is the correct answer from this 4 option. So this also left to you. You have to analyze this particular code and select the correct answer. Okay, then we have some task. Okay, you have to complete this task within this week. Okay, first one, write a program to check smallest of 2 number. Okay, so smallest of 2 number you can check by using if else statement. Similarly, write a program to check largest of 2 number. Write a program to find the largest of 2 number. Write a program to check whether the given number is negative, positive, or 0. Write a program to check whether the given number is divisible with the 121 or not. Write a program to check whether the given number is even or odd. So you can try to write your own program by using Python. If it is wrong, no problem. You can ask the doubt, I will help you. Okay, but I need your own program. If you write your own program, you can learn a lot. Okay. This is the next question. Consider the scenario of retail store management. The store provides discount for a bill. Okay, so discount criteria is given. You have to write a Python program. Okay, so at this point you should create your own variable to store numbers, string, etc. Use basic math operators in Python to perform calculations. Be able to write, save, run, and modify interactive program using if else and elif statement. Okay, so be ready to try more advanced fun program in session 4. Thank you for attending this particular session.